I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're partying with you.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it ever, or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the Group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I can easily list off the top Group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Down the middle, James, the lateral to the corner of the end zone. Can you believe that?
What's up, everybody? Group of 5 guys coming at you. Final week of the regular season, rivalry week, Thanksgiving week. Lot of conference championship implications on the line. We got a good show for you tonight. We got an atrocious award. We got voicemails. We got some really good clips. We got some wild tiebreaker scenarios in the Group of 5 conferences. Before we go any further, you guys make sure you hit like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, and all your podcast streaming platforms. And then make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of 5 Guys, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Go around the horn here, something a little bit different. It's Thanksgiving week. Everybody's probably planning for it. I went to Publix today. There was more people in Publix at like 10:30 this morning than I've ever seen in my life. Everybody's preparing for that big Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to start with the Swag Bear. Give me your favorite or least favorite Thanksgiving dish. Go for it.
I need to start off saying one thing first, Sprouse, before I get to my Thanksgiving meal. There are 3 things in this life that I live for, that I currently live for. Just 3 things. One is just making love. Love making love. That's number 1. Number 2 is paying off debt. There's really nothing much better than paying off debt instead of making love. Number 3, beating Jeff Murphy's ass in fantasy football. I literally live for this. Those 3 things, Jeff. So, hey, somebody has to win. I know that you've already checked out for this season, but I don't even care that Kirk Cousins got pulled in the third quarter because their team was playing terrible. It just feels good. Just feels good. Anyway, my least favorite dish that I cannot stand as a child, I always thought it was Jell-O. It doesn't taste like Jell-O. I cannot stand cranberry sauce. Cannot deal with it. No.
Now, do you normally have? Are you talking about like the cranberry sauce, like
the cranberry, like in a can?
It's
like
little slices,
little slices that everybody's just eating it away, and I'm just like, it looks so just ugh. Yeah. I didn't know, like, what was that made out of? Just sugar and like I'm all about health. I'm all about no shit. I'm all about health now. You know, I'm trying to be very into my figure. So why would I just want to put this in my body? I've got to count the calories. I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to eat another slab of turkey. So the cranberry sauce is just a no for me.
I like that. I don't mind cranberry sauce. It's definitely not my favorite, but you got a favorite dish, or that's it? That's all you're going
favorite
with?
Dish? Probably broccoli cheese casserole. Really, 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 really good. Cheese, broccoli, and then my wife does a thing where she has a bunch of Cheez-Its on top, toasted on top of it.
There you go.
Very, very
crunch.
Very good. Like a little crunch to it.
All right. Tip, what about you?
So I can't pick just one.
You never can, Tip. You can't anything.
I'll give you a favorite and a least favorite, but I love me some food, so it's hard to choose just one. I like green bean casserole. That's one of my favorite side dishes. And then a stuffing with a good like turkey dressing on top of it. It's so good. And I agree with the Swag Bear. I'm not a huge cranberry sauce fan at all. And this one might ruffle a little bit of feathers, but I'm not a huge pumpkin pie guy. I prefer the pecan pie myself.
I gotta say, it's maybe strange that you're stuffing. I thought stuffing was just in the north. I could be way wrong.
I like stuffing.
I thought
Now-
the South was dressing and the North and stuff was.
Well,
I don't know
see,
what the
I
West
don't know.
is.
We call it
I don't know what the
stuffing.
difference is. I've always called it stuffing, but
Dressing is cornbread. Stuffing is white bread.
how about that?
I only know a little bit of things, but I do know that.
Normally I would be like, okay, but I believe you.
My mom is big on dressing. It's
Sounds right.
cornbread based. So
I like it. All right, Murph, what about you?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to have to just rebuttal Grisham's. Not really rebuttal. My team's terrible. We're riddled with injuries. But I like to know that I'm just living rent-free in that dome of the Swag Bear, that I'm on the same level as making love and paying off debt. So I like
I
that
might
I'm
be
there.
thinking about you while I'm making love sometimes when I beat you in fantasy.
Hey,
It's all gonna come full circle. If you win the league, you'll be paying off some more debt.
yeah, that's right.
You have this fancy heavyweight belt I've got behind me here.
Jeffrey, I wasn't even
day.
going to say a word. You started the trash talking Sunday morning during my Sunday morning coffee. You had to throw a first little jab
Well,
out
that's
there.
the
Even
only
though
reason
you
why
knew you were probably going to
That's
get
the only reason why I play fantasy, honestly, anymore. Is just to talk trash to people, mainly you. Yeah,
easy
my
getting
team's
mad.
my team's not very good. If I would have just stuck with my guns and played Derek Carr, he had 31 points last night, we would have been all right. But anyways, neither here nor there. Thanksgiving. I'm not a huge fan of the traditional Thanksgiving dishes. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I'm in Tip's boat. I'm never going to turn down a warm meal, but we do a little differently in the Italian household that I grew up in, and we always used to do just homemade raviolis with a little bit of gravy on top, garlic bread. See, we do it different at Italian household. Do Italian Thanksgiving. Then when I moved to the South, I'll have to say my Aunt Tony, or I guess my in-law, whatever you want to call it, makes a pineapple cheese casserole. Oh, that thing is almost like dessert. I could just eat that up. It's so good. So I'm going to have to go with that. And worst dish, I'm not a big broccoli casserole guy. And I've had that a couple times since I've moved to Tennessee. And just leave the broccoli casserole off. Take a little turkey, a little gravy, a little stuffing, what we call it on the West Coast, and
real,
call it
real
a day.
strange how that's his most unfavorite dish, right?
Why
is
gotta
it-
ask you?
why is
this
that strange?
pineapple?
It's actually not strange at all.
Okay.
The opposites.
Par
All
for the course, huh?
And I don't like cranberry. I'm not a big fan of it either, but I didn't want to say the same thing you guys did either.
So this pineapple cheese casserole, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. When you said it, kind of reminded me of like, pineapple on pizza kind of thing. Like, sounds interesting. What?
Man, I don't know how she
what is
does.
it?
It's like diced pineapple, and it's got cheese in it, and she bakes it, and she's got like this crunchy. She puts this crunchy thing on top. I don't know what it is, but man, I could just eat bowls of it. It's so freaking good.
I like it. Well, I mean, for me, least favorite, I'm going to say something controversial here. I'm not a huge fan of just turkey. I think it's, especially a white meat turkey. I think anything you got to, lather with gravy to make it good.
Easy
maybe
there,
it's just
Sprouse. Let's not go with the colors now. We got light and dark. All turkey's made equal.
No, well, the dark meat's 100 times better. I mean, we can admit that. But I mean, since we got a house and have hosted Thanksgiving a couple times, I've been doing a prime rib for Thanksgiving because I think most people rather eat something like that than a turkey. And then for my favorite, any kind of sweet potato casserole. Now, not just when somebody takes yams and puts marshmallows on it. It's got to have the crunch. It's got to have the pecans. It's got to have the cornflakes or, all the brown sugar. That's pretty much like dessert. And then I'm with you too, Tip. Pies in general, again, I rather have ice cream than eat some
no way.
plain old pie. Yeah, dude.
No way.
Or a good apple pie with vanilla ice cream on it. I'm with you on that. But
Dude,
just a plain pie.
Michaela makes this called Fish Market apple pie. I don't know why I call it that, but it's an upside down apple pie, and it has like this cream cheese that's mixed in with the apples. It is hands down the best dessert I've ever had in my life, and I know dessert pretty well. Very, 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 very good. So apple pie's got me up there for my desserts. I can talk about this all day. We better go to the next subject. We're going
It's
to talk about this long
good.
time.
We could have a whole show on it.
Give me a Hawaiian roll as well. I'll eat that all day.
Hawaiian rolls are good. Yeah. Well, I mean, on to more of a negative subject, Swag Bear. While we're on it, let's get to the Atrocious Award. Wild weekend in college football this week. What do you got, Jeff Cumin?
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
The Atrocious Award is not going to be a long spiel, but really just me aggravated with the SEC. The SEC fans are getting ridiculous. They're atrocious the way they're behaving right now on a weekend basis. And this past weekend, it was pretty embarrassing. And if you haven't seen it, you're going to hear it here first and look it up. It's very, very sad. A Arkansas fan steals an Ole Miss player's helmet after beating Ole Miss pretty bad. They go and they stole one. I don't know how the guy stole it. Just seen the video, and I don't even know if he made it out of the stadium or not. I think if he did, he's wanted for theft. Stole a guy's helmet. Texas A&M firing off a cannon while a UMass player is trying to pray. They could have held the cannon off. Don't give me that BS. How the guy was in the way. No, you don't have to blow the cannon. They were trying to be funny. Texas A&M is really, really getting atrocious this season. Not even talking about the fans that were at the game. I made MTSU look like the freaking Sugar Bowl. SEC in general. Vanderbilt, who we dog, storms the field with all 250 med students. And they were excited for beating Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. And the SEC commissioner decides to slap with a $250,000 fine, which is $150,000 more than what the Vols got when they charged Alabama.
And Vanderbilt did it in a single file line too. I don't know.
Looked like they were graduating. They were out there shaking hands, and they weren't lifting anybody up. They were giving a good firm handshake and saying, congratulations. I get the politics behind it. Apparently, Vanderbilt has charged the field 3 times since 2004, and every time you charge the field, it's like a times 2 of what the last charge was. But my God, find it in your some couth to say, Vanderbilt, who has been off the record. No one's talked about this team in 10 years. They just beat Florida Gators at home. Let the guy. They don't make $250,000 in 4 or 5 games. They didn't even have $250,000 unless they go into the school. And then lastly. South Carolina. We all saw what they did against Tennessee, but now you got players that are throwing beer bottles at the referees during a game because they didn't like the play calls. I don't think they were ever down in that game, so I don't know who you're throwing beer bottles at. The SEC, they're supposed to be, it just means more. It is real college football to them. Really embarrassing on their side of things this weekend. Not a good look.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
I'm just glad to see that there was only one Division I football program in the great state of Tennessee that took a huge L. There was also only one football program in the state of Tennessee that lost by 4 touchdowns. I mean, unbelievable. It was the stars aligned for us. And I mean, thank God they went from saying the SEC deserves 3 teams in the college football playoff to saying fire Josh Heupel in about 60 minutes. Yeah. So that was great stuff.
That's what you get up there.
That's what you get. They better be careful because Vanderbilt is hot, and their quarterback got hurt. So
quarterback's out. I would not be surprised. And they were talking about checkering out the Vanderbilt Stadium, which at the time I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, I'm sure that's lit something underneath Vanderbilt. They have something to play for. They're playing to get bowl eligible. So look out, Volunteers.
Yeah. But anyway, before we get into the show a little bit more, you guys make sure you go to groupof5guys.com, get some swag. We got hoodies on there, T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, phone cases, blankets, towels, all kind of good stuff on there. Groupof5guys.com, and help support us a little bit in that route. Week 12 was wild. We had chaos in college football. We had some upsets. We had Navy beating UCF. I mean, we had, and then up in the college football playoff ranks, we had all 1 through 5 bout lost. Only one of them actually did, but 1 through 5 all struggled this week. But I'm going to go around the horn, start with Swag Bear. Give me your biggest headline from week 12. What do you got?
My biggest headline, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this because I have a lot to say about this particular matter. I want to talk about South Alabama and Troy, mainly South Alabama. getting the win against Southern Miss. But curveball, I'm not going to talk about South Alabama in general. Really just bring those up because I was wrong. I said South Alabama and Troy would both get upset. But by God, South Alabama almost did get upset by the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And I'm going to call it right here, right now, for 2023, Southern Miss is going to be the team to beat in the SEC West. Why do you say Frank Gore Jr., he's a sophomore, coming back, going to have a stellar year. The QB situation, they're struggling this year, but they're both young. They're going to come back next year, throwing it to 2 to 3 receivers coming back. The defense has 11 guys that are coming back next year, and they beat Tulane. They lost to a good Troy team. They beat teams they should have beat, such as Northwestern State, Texas State, and Arkansas State. Beat Louisiana at Louisiana. Could have beat Coastal Carolina at Coastal. And then they did lose to a good USA team. A game that definitely didn't look good. Yeah, they got stomped by Georgia State. It happens. They're 4 to 5 plays away from probably being 7-4, maybe even 8-3. They're playing for a bowl game this week against Lamar Monroe. They'll win that bowl game. Southern Miss, look out for them next year. They're my team to watch.
Sunbelt West, just for clarity.
Did I say Sunbelt West?
You said it, SEC West.
Holy hell.
Tough division, too.
Well, I was just talking about the SEC.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm getting crucified right now. Sunbelt SEC. Sorry. Sunbelt's better than the SEC.
Same thing, yeah. Tip,
If you want to beep that out though, by the chance, because I'm probably gonna get killed by people up hearing that.
No, we gotta let it ride. It was just an honest mistake. It was an honest mistake.
Yeah, that was just a, what do you call it? Freudian slip.
SBC.
Tip, what about you? Headline from Week 12.
Boise State going to Wyoming and doing what they had to do to get it done. I talked in last week's episode. I thought Boise State was going to go there and beat them by 2+ touchdowns. And give credit to Wyoming. They played them tough, and but Boise State did what they needed to do, and now they're going to host the Mountain West Conference Championship game. So congrats to them, because we saw them struggle at the beginning of the season, and then they brought in, and then Taylon Green came in at quarterback. And ever since he came in, that it just completely turned their season around. So congrats to Boise State. Cannot wait to watch them in Fresno State in that championship game.
Did y'all catch the very end of that Boise State-Wyoming game?
Yeah.
So that quarterback, Taylon Green, an unnoticed play of the century for this guy. So Boise's got the ball with 30 seconds left, run out the clock. They hand the ball up the middle, and Helani, who has single-digit fumbles on his career, fumbles. It goes right into Wyoming's D lineman hand. He's about to house the thing, and Boise's QB hawks him down, tackles him at like the 20, and then Wyoming, for God knows what reason, down 3 at this point, by the way, they try to throw it into the end zone on the next play, and it gets picked off in the end zone.
Yeah, it was double coverage.
So could have easily been a scoop and score to win to go to the conference championship for Wyoming, and Taylon Green makes the play, touchdown saving play, saves the season for them, and then just a bad throwing into coverage like that, bad play call in my opinion too. But anyway, wild ending on that game. Murph, what about you? Headline from Week 12.
Man, I'm gonna keep it close to home, boys. I tell you what, the Blue Raiders playing against FAU at home. We know FAU has not done well on the road, and this was honestly a game that had me pretty worried, just because FAU seemed like they had some things figured out. But the Blue Raiders got a lot of guys back that they have been missing the last couple weeks, and it was by far the best that they have looked, I think, all season. Pretty close to, I would say, the Miami game where they had that big upset. Chase Cunningham, man, this guy was outstanding. He missed last week with a concussion. Comes out, he's 40 of 54, 448 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And then Frank the Tank Peasant, 13 rushes, 59 yards, and a touchdown, and then 8 catches for 107 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. So those two guys absolutely dominated the game and made our Blue Raiders bowl eligible. They got FIU this week. There's a lot of 6-win teams out there, so it's just because you have 6 wins doesn't mean it's guaranteed. But they should hopefully get that 7th win at FIU. And, man, it was just awesome to see them play the level of football that I know that they were capable of. And I got to play a little post-game clip, and it just kind of ties into the Blue Raiders, and it's from Coach Stock, the post-game interview that we did. And let's just listen to it, and I want to get your guys' take on it, and I got a little thing I want to say.
Now, 12th time in 17 years, you've gotten yourself and this team bowl eligible. There aren't many programs around the country that have a record of that kind of success over that amount of time.
Yeah, Chip, I'm super, super proud. And you look at it, because somebody told me this week, 12 out of the last 17, 11 out of the last 14, and 9 out of the last 11. And one of those 9 out of the last 11 was a COVID year when we didn't have a full year, so if we'd have played a full game, we might have got in then. And, so every player that's come through here, and Robert Jones was, in the locker room today. DQ Thomas was here today. Marcus Greer was here today. All those former players, all these guys that have been here before, and Jeff Murphy, in his time here, all those guys, everybody plays a part in it. But I look at this thing, and we've done this with not so hot of facilities, and here in a couple years we're going to have some pretty hot facilities, and wait and see what happens then. So just really proud of our guys. I'm proud of what we've done here, how we've done it, and the graduation rates came out this week, and we're number 5 in the country in that. So we're doing things the right way.
Let me just say this, and if you actually look at those numbers, like, that is absolutely incredible with the hand that he's been dealt over at Middles at MTSU. And facilities, for sure, they are lacking. They should have been done, in my opinion, after that huge win in the New Orleans Bowl. I believe it was in 2009, because that's when the program had the most momentum, and they didn't. So you're talking 13 whatever years behind, and everyone else has put in these new facilities. But to have a record like that, a bowl record, and I know a bunch of people on social media who happen to be very, very silent last weekend. It was pretty incredible. Nobody tagged me. Nobody called me out. But the support is just not there, and people aren't going to the games. And honestly, this is one of the best teams when they have been fully healthy that Middle has had in some time. Their defensive line is dominant. They have tons of skill guys. They can throw the ball around. They can run it with Frank. And yeah, they had a tough stretch in the middle of the season, but they very well could end the season at 7-5, going to a bowl game. They could win a bowl game, be 8-5, and you're going to have a large portion of this fan base that still is fire stock. Get rid of them. Let's burn it to the ground. And I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know what you guys want, honestly, because there's a good product on the field right now. Everyone wanted to get rid of him after we lost to James Madison, the opening game of the season. And what do you want? Really, what do you want? A couple years ago, they hosted a conference championship game. That's what people's gripes are. They haven't won a conference championship. Okay, well, there's 2,000 people at that conference championship. We always talk about it. Home field advantage matters. So you guys, I don't want to lump everybody in. The talking heads on social media that always want to complain, just stop complaining. I'd rather you just be quiet and go away, and we'll get the fans that actually want to come and support these kids and support this coaching staff, because what Stock has done with the hand he's been dealt, in my opinion, is nothing short of incredible. I'd love to get your guys' opinion on that just briefly.
I'm just glad Stock finally said it. I felt like he was biting his tongue a little bit too. I know deep down he has got to have some things to say, but he's just such a good dude that he won't say it. But hopefully we're saying some of those things for him. But yeah, man. I mean, and we all said it preseason. I mean, nobody thought they were going to beat Miami. So they lose the game to La Tech, which they probably shouldn't have lost. But then they have the win against Miami, and they're right where anybody would have expected would be a good outcome for this year. And nobody thought they were going to touch UTSA. Nobody's touching UTSA this year. Nobody thought they would get UAB. And then, Western's had 2 years of historic offenses. So,
but Sprouse, and here's the crazy thing about that is they were in the game with the ball in the fourth quarter against the top team in Conference USA, possibly one of the top teams in the group of 5, with a chance to win without multiple key guys. That's the thing that people, the Van Gogh watchers and listeners don't understand is after that Miami game, they had so many. DJ England Chisholm did not play. You had multiple guys week after week that did not play. Jalen Lane was out. You had Frank Pizant was out. Joe Irving was out. Darius Bracey was out. All these guys were out. And I know every team plays with injuries, but look, you have to look at the entirety of the situation and not just, I just can't stand the people that don't watch, don't support, and just wait for the loss to happen, and then they get on social media and cry. But that's
you said it.
So
I'm with you. Yeah. As much as I've been rooting for FIU, I hope Middle gets that win. I hope they get 7-5. I hope they get a decent bowl game and a nice matchup. Hopefully get some money to help towards those facilities. But I think he's right. I think if they can get some fan support, it's Middle Tennessee with its growth has got really good high school football now. If they can get some facilities and recruit locally there, I think they'll be in a really good spot. For me, headline, I got to give it to Houston. I mean, their defense has been so bad. They gave up 70-something points to SMU a couple weeks ago, and they hold East Carolina to 3 points? I mean, Keaton Mitchell had over 100 yards. That's what was weird. The box score, you would have thought it was a little bit closer than that. They just could not put it in the end zone, and, I mean, got to give it to Houston, and they are still barely hanging on, but they are still alive in this wild American Conference race. But got to give a shout out to them because we've been blasting them. So shout out to Houston.
I give a particular shout out to the passing game coordinator Shannon Dawson because he had Clayton Tune throwing that thing for 4 touchdowns, 435 yards. They picked apart East Carolina. They found some holes through the past few weeks of film. It was pretty astonishing to see because I know none of us thought that was going to happen.
Nope, did not think that. Murph, you got Southern Roots Radio commercial, and then we got some voicemails to hear.
Yeah, absolutely, sure do. So we partner with Southern Roots Radio, guys. If you love good music, good country, Americana-style music, go check them out. They're southernrootsradio.com. They're an online radio station, so you can download the app or just go on your browser, click play, and it'll play all different types of music. And you can find them on social media at southernrootsradio.com. They play our show on Wednesday afternoons at 5 p.m. Central and Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time. And they are connecting the storytelling and twang from classic music row, the grit and blues from Beale Street, and the rhythm and soul coming out of the Singing River of Muscle Shoals. So go check them out. We appreciate those guys very much. And yeah, Hotline was banging again this week. Become my favorite part of the show for sure is getting the fans, giving you guys a voice to voice your opinions and call us out if we got a bad take. So we'll just get right into it. So the first caller we had was a guy I got to meet down at UTEP. Caesar, he's the assistant cheer coach, and gave us a call, checking in with us.
Hey, group of 5 guys. This is Coach Caesar here at UTEP. Everyone's favorite assistant cheer coach. First and foremost, I wanted to give a shout out to Murph. I got to meet up with Murph when he was down here for MTSU versus UTEP. Got to give him some swag. Hopefully we get swag there down here eventually. I mean, swag is in the name, so you'd think that he'd make a little more trips to these areas. Anyway, I've been wanting to call for a couple weeks. Haven't gotten a lot of Conference USA calls. Unfortunately, with away games and bye weeks, there hasn't been much to talk about. So, as I'm driving to the game right now, UTEP's playing FIU. I just had to stand up for our team. I'm actually surprised. You'd think UTSA, with the season they're having, would call more often. But hey, they rate our wardrobe and colors as it is, so maybe they'll hear my call and copy that too. Either way, playing up there next week, hopefully shutting down their Conference USA experience with Giant L. But it's been a rough year for UTEP. 4-6 right now. I mean, bowl is still possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we're not going to give up. It's going to be on the way to the game right now. Take care of FIU in the 39-degree El Paso weather, which for El Paso may as well be negative 50. Either way, I'm just hoping for a win today. Want to have more to talk about. This town is starting to shift to basketball. And I forgot we have a game today. We have that game next week up at the Alamo Dome. So I mean, here's hoping the Miners can come up with something a little more promising after all the build-up from last year. It's going to be rough, and it's been a rough year, and I'll be honest, it's been kind of hard to think of anything to talk trash about. But, hey, you guys managed to do it. Love your show, guys, and short call, I know. Just I don't know how many UTEP calls you guys ever get, and I had to stand up for myself. And Murph, thank you so much. First person to ever pronounce my last name correctly the first try. Okay, that never happens. I mean, we're talking Hispanic people can't do it. Here comes a guy from the West Coast who went to college in the middle of Tennessee who got it completely right first try. So no problem. Glad we got to see you at the game, and hopefully get to see some more of you guys in the upcoming seasons. All right, picks up, and I'm out.
Appreciate it, Caesar, man, and I appreciate the swag too. You didn't have to do that, and that was awesome. But yeah, UTEP, man, they got that win this past weekend, and wouldn't that be something? If they can somehow beat UTSA and get bowl eligible, that'd be massive. It's tough sledding, though.
Yeah, it's tough.
I can't remember who UTSA played last season at the end of the year, but they went into it was like towards the end of the season they were undefeated.
North Texas, wasn't it?
North Texas. Yeah, and then they lost that game. So I mean, this has that kind of game written all over it, in my opinion. Like, I mean, they've already clinched like hosting the conference championship. So why not?
True, you know,
yeah.
Let's
get UTEP in there and get that 6th win and get bowl eligible.
I think UTSA still be playing for a very slim shot at a potential. Well,
That's
I don't
true.
think that. Maybe a New Year's game. You'd have to have a lot happen.
Yeah, you'd have to have some help.
But,
Why?
Why would they have to have help?
I mean, obviously, I think you have to have Coastal lose, and I mean, Tulane's already lost.
Yeah, but Tulane's still ahead of them in all the polls. So all 3 of the teams that are in the American would get it, and Houston, I think, would get it.
Tulane's got to play Cincinnati.
Well, then Cincinnati would get it.
Oh God, of course.
You're gonna get Tulane, Cincinnati, UCF, or even potentially Houston, and Houston has the head-to-head win. I'm way it would be tough.
I get it.
It'd be tough. Although I'd love to see UTSA in there. I mean, I think
I would love to see UTSA and Cincinnati just play each other.
I would too.
For shits and gigs. I just want to see them play.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at bowl projections today, and obviously it's early. You still got, this week coming up, but they had, and this is obviously too, a lot has to go with Coastal, but somebody had UTSA and Coastal in the same bowl, and that would be, if Grayson McCall is playing,
take the over.
Oh, yeah. You talking about an offensive showdown, man. That would be a great
game.
If
all the players play in the bowl games, I love bowl games. But as of late, they're just if the players play, if the seniors decide to sit out, then I don't watch.
Sure.
What else we got, Jeff? Thanks for that call, Caesar.
Yeah, appreciate it, Caesar. And hopefully, I loved El Paso, so we definitely need to, as a group, get back down there and just check it out and tailgate and do the whole scene. So, all right, our next up we got Zachary Brenner, and let me say this: the first week of voicemails where I did not have to bleep anything out. It was incredible. My work, it was easy.
Somebody better check on Zach.
What's up, guys? I'm Zachary Brenner. I'll keep it, maybe short and sweet, but we're going to make that 8 in a row for the good guys. How about Kimani Vidal? 28 rushes, 240 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That, my friend, is a day. Have yourself a day, Kimani. Southern Miss Eagles, Golden Eagles, they had one job, was to beat the bitch boys down south. They didn't do it, which is fine. We can take care of our own destiny. We got to go to Jonesboro. Got to go 1-0 to secure the West. Let's get it done. And what I'm having to drink tonight is a good old Miller. Good old Miller. Oh, and Swag Bear, thank you for going against us. I do appreciate that very much. Continue to do so. I think you're the Kurt Herbstreit of the group of 5 guys. Whatever team Kurt goes against, the other team wins. I think you helped us, so continue to do so. Thank you, sir, and let's ride. One trip.
It's a hell of a compliment.
That
Swagbear is the Kirk Herbstreit, huh? I would
lose a little weight and I start looking like Kirk a little bit, huh?
I didn't see Herbstreit. Hold on. Did y'all see his little outfit in Montana?
Yeah.
No. Holy cow, Kirk.
What was it?
I'm wearing a sweater with a
He
bear
looked
on
like
it, so I can't
Indiana Jones.
Oh, gosh.
He had a little hat on, and he had his pea coat on. Just, yeah,
See, I
He
would've
was trying,
thought-
he was trying to go all Yellowstone.
yeah,
on
they,
me.
yeah.
See, I would have thought he would have been the Lee Corso of the group, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, I'm like a Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit kind of blend. If I'm being honest here, I actually had that was all staged last week. I had no way I thought Law Monroe was going to beat Troy. Okay, there was just no chance, no shot. But you're welcome for saying that. I actually bet on Troy. I actually won some money out of all the losses I had this past weekend. That was one of the ones I won. So you're welcome, Zach.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Zach, as always. Keep them coming. And more positive call this week. Finally, our boy Stu's right from Twitter. Got a win.
There you go, Stu.
Hey guys, Stu's right from Twitter here. Man, it sure is nice to call in after a win. God, I forgot what it feels like. Oh man, I still don't think we played a great football game. Only scoring 3 points in the second half. It's not going to cut it next week at Georgia Southern. Nice to get a win. Being at home certainly helped, I'm sure. Playing in front of a full set of bleachers, which is nice. Nice change of pace. Anyways, we go to Georgia Southern, try to get bowl eligible. I hate to put that much emphasis on a game that I'm not that confident that we're going to win, but anyways, nice to get a win and give you boys a call. Marshall just put a whooping on Georgia Southern. That's good. James Madison, what happened? Get down early and then come back. That was a fun one to keep an eye on. Anyways, hope we can go down to Georgia Southern and beat some ass down there. We'll see what happens. Anyways, go Apps.
Appreciate it, Stu, as always. He's had a rough last couple weeks.
Yeah, kind of the same trend with App State. You know, kind of just playing one half of really good football. I mean, they jumped up 24-0 on them. Ended up up 27-0, then giving up 14 in the fourth. But hey, give credit to App State's defense. I mean, they showed up and played well, and got the win on senior night, last game for those seniors. So a big win for those guys.
And James Madison, how many games have they had
this
this year where they're just getting smacked, and then you look up and they've scored 4 touchdowns in a row and they're up?
It's been a couple of them. That's
they did it to App State.
Yeah.
And again this week. I mean, I think Murph, you texted us all right.
Yeah, I was like, I sent the screenshot and I was like, look at this. It was just, I figured, James Madison would handle him, and then surely by the end of the game it was like James Madison was up. But that's why, honestly, this game this weekend, I know we'll get to that in a little bit, but they got Coastal at home, so we'll see how that goes. But appreciate it as always, Stu, and let's get to our next one. And this has got to be Terry Johnson's first 2 voicemails, because the first one went just a hair long. We didn't have a ton this week, so I'm playing the second one. No curse words. It's incredible.
Look at that, man.
What's up, Group of 5 guys? Terry Johnson here. Hey, yesterday wasn't our day. I mean, I didn't go into Florida State thinking that we were going to shock the world or anything, just judging by how the season was going. Got our ass beat by a better team. Got to admit that. Even if we had our team that we had last year, I still don't know if we would have won, but I mean, hey, who would have known? But, it does feel good to know we went out there, we gave effort, and that's all I really cared about. I can at least say that, we wouldn't have lost to Vanderbilt, I don't think. Billy Napier's out there in Gainesville, took the entire coaching staff and, a good bit of talent, and he lost to freaking Vanderbilt. I don't think that's what happened to us, just being honest with you. He should have stayed in Gator Country. At least they wouldn't be calling for his head down there. We would at least, forgive him for that. But, I love it. Hopefully we go into San Marcos and get the win over Texas State. They had a last-second field goal win against Arkansas State. Creme brulee. I'm calling you out, buddy. Me and you. Battle of the mediocres in the West Division. For bowl eligibility for us. And, I know those Texas State guys. I know they're going to have effort. And, play hard. They got good athletes, so I mean, it's not going to be an easy win. Man, it's crazy with Sun Belt, man. If you would have told me out of the 4 teams that beat Power 5 schools at the beginning of the season, Marshall, App, Georgia Southern, and ODU, and if you told me only one of those teams would be bowl eligible going into the final week of the season, I'd ask you, what are you smoking? Where can I get it? It's crazy how this season has ended up. Just from how everything started, with App hosting game day and, all those Power 5 wins in the conference. But I think that just shows how tough it is to win your conference and how tough it is to compete at a high level in it. Just a crazy thing. But, hey, as always, God bless Group of 5. God bless Group of 5 guys. Go Cajuns.
Part 2.
Sorry about y'all said not to do that, but Jesus Christ, man, Maction this past week, Bowling Green and Toledo, that was the most exciting Maction game I've seen in a couple of years. I think since Toledo versus Western Michigan on that fake spike, touchdown pass, a couple years ago. But damn, that was an exciting game. Central Michigan fans, y'all are a different breed of people being out there in the snow supporting your team. But damn, man, Maction is exciting. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Again, God bless Group of 5. God bless Group of 5 guys. Go Cajuns.
He ain't lying about the Maction.
Can I just say, I don't think standing out in the snow is that hard. I think I could do the snow. Like, that snow during that game looked awesome. I think I could even be in Buffalo with 5 feet falling on me. I don't think I really mind it. Now, what really starts bothering me is when you have that cold wind and it's raining and it's like freaking ice hitting your arms. Then I'm probably going to say, all right, let's get out of here. Snow doesn't bother me. What do you say, Sprouse? So you got a rebuttal here? You get the game when it's 65 degrees outside. So yeah, I walked into that one. All right, go to the next call.
I thought it looked miserable out there. That's all I was going to say.
Maybe I thought it looked fine. You're like when it snows outside, it's not even that cold. It's just
dude. I think, but you're talking about this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but I think the snow in Michigan and up that way is a hell of a lot different than the half-ass snow we get once every 2-3 years.
I'm Italian. I go to New Jersey.
Oh, that's right.
We get snow up there.
Yeah.
I've become evolved evolutions, and now I'm very much. I can kind of deal with wintry weather, and I think I could sit outside and watch a snow game. But if it's raining, no.
Okay.
As always, appreciated, Terry. Keep them coming, and the less work that I have to do, the better. So I like the clean voicemails. All right, so our next caller, Steeple PC.
Hey, Group of 5 guys, how you doing? This is Steeple _PC _51. Hey guys, just want to reflect on last week. Someone from Coastal Carolina, I believe the senseless tragedy at UAV was horrific, mind-blowing. To see someone take their brother, lives like that was very saddening. But someone from Coastal Carolina, knowing that we had to play them Saturday, was understandable. Prayers go out to those guys, and hope they heal quickly. All right, to a more lighter note, watch a lot of Sun Belt play this weekend. Really enjoyed the game. I was really looking forward to Georgia State beating JMU. The implode was horrific. There, it was atrocious. Oh my God. But I don't like to dwell on other people's teams. I just like to say that that to the toothless women in App and the no hot sauce people in Louisiana and the rest of the Sun Belt, that this is a great game. And I know we come on here and we go at each other, but really I appreciate everything that the season has brought about. And for you guys, wishing y'all much success. I hope some of you can get bowl eligible. And we'll go ahead and strengthen up this Sun Belt. Now, I do have one issue. Man, these AP college football polls, they're ridiculous. We have some very, very skilled teams in a group of 5. And for them to be overlooked and shunned on, because you're in one of these Power 5 groups is atrocious. We should have more teams playing top P5 teams, and they don't want to do it because they would get embarrassed on the holidays, one of those bowl games, and then it will bring precedence to them extending that college football poll. And it's evident. So I'm hoping that they can put, hell, I would like to see 2 G5 teams play in the New Year's Day Bowl. We have the records. It should go that way. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys enjoying the show. And JMU, here we come. See you guys in Conway.
Appreciate it, Steeple.
I don't think he realized it, but that was such a coastal thing to say. He's like, all you guys are playing hard out there. You can get on our level eventually. Just keep on. We gotta get the Sun Belt better. He doesn't even realize that they're coming off arrogant. I love it.
I would. He's got every reason to be.
They have every right to be.
Right
to be. And that's why we'll get to it here in a bit. James Madison is going to be electric.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a bit.
But
to say.
Two things I do want to talk about his call is I'm with him. I like this camaraderie. I love how everyone's just going back at each other. But at the end of the day, we're all fighting the same fight, and that's really what it's all about, right? Just bringing like-minded people, fans of the group of 5 faithful together, and you can talk about not having teeth, beach chickens, and all that. But at the end of the day, we're all in the same squad as long as we're not playing each other on that game day. So, but appreciate it, Steeple, as always. And we got one more we'll get to. Zach, the Liberty fan.
What's up, guys? At ZG Go Flames here, Liberty fan. I called earlier, but it was too rambling and I got cut off. So hopefully this one can get on the show. I know there's not much time left before the cutoff time for y'all to record, but I'm just calling about an awful football game. The worst Virginia Tech Hokies team in decades comes to our place, an independent that's about to be a group of 5 team, to our place. We got a chance to whoop their tails, and what do? We lay an egg, lose by 1 point. Honestly, really frustrating. After what happened at Arkansas and BYU, those amazing games, we lost 2 now to teams we should have beaten. Still a lot to play for, 10 wins this season. Still love my Flames. And I know exactly why we lost these games, but I'm not sure why we're playing bad enough to lose these games right now. So I'm hoping the coaching staff can get in there and figure out what exactly is going on, because I legitimately think we're better than Virginia Tech and we're better than UConn, and we shouldn't have lost those games. So hope they can get it figured out and turned around, because we got a couple of big games coming up. Chance to get 9 wins this Saturday against New Mexico State, and a chance to get 10 in a bowl game. So hopefully we can get that turned around. But a couple other things I want to say quickly. Number 1, Liberty students were amazing, other than a few bad nuts who decided they were going to put on their Virginia Tech Hokies gear. So forget them, right? I know everybody in the group of 5 can sympathize with that. Number 2, shout out to Virginia Tech for playing this game on the road. We've got several more games with them coming up at the end of this decade and the beginning of the next one, and they're coming back one more time. And I do believe they played at Old Dominion some, and they're going to go on the road to them again. So shout out to Virginia Tech for doing that. Pretty awesome display honoring UVA with Virginia Tech wearing orange and Liberty wearing navy, and Liberty playing UVA's fight song. Awesome. I love being a part of that. That was pretty sweet. And then the last thing I'll say, JMU Duke Dog, I was ready to come start chirping at you, talking about how you said JMU's the best team in the state of Virginia. I was all ready for an insult, calling you JMU Princess Dog and all that stuff. Forget it.
y'all are probably the best team in the state. I hate that we don't get to actually prove that, because I think Liberty and JMU would make for a good game, but Liberty hadn't really earned that right these last couple of weeks. Wish y'all could go to a bowl game, wish we could play y'all in one, but the world may never know. So shout out to the Dukes, but I love my Flames. Thank y'all for all that you do. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it, Zach, as always.
Welcome to the Conference USA, Zach. That's probably going to happen. You're going to win the big games. You may lose the games you should have won. So, not hating on Conference USA. Love Conference USA. I'm very random. You ever watch? Like there's a show on television. And you're like, God, those are just people that I just can't get behind. Like those are people that I just don't like. Those are just not good people. I knew that those freaking Chrisley knows best. I knew they were frauds. I just saw on Instagram.
I thought for sure that had something to do with something we've talked about in the last half an hour.
I was waiting for the tie-in to Liberty.
No, Todd Chrisley's getting 12 years in federal prison.
Yeah, for fraud, right?
He is gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he ain't gonna be amongst general population. I hope. That guy.
Sorry.
Talk about getting flamed, right, boys? There's your tie-in.
Damn it.
Man.
Liberty. I don't understand why somebody would be at Liberty and be wearing Virginia Tech stuff. Virginia Tech hadn't been good in a long time.
No.
And honestly, I mean, I hate that Virginia Tech got that win, but Liberty's been the better program for the last few years.
Yeah, more consistent for sure.
But that's the world we live in. But yeah, I think it was Zach that tweeted, transfer portal. You can transfer too as a regular student. Transfer portal's wide open.
Yeah, go
Virginia
for it.
Tech's probably taking applications. Probably easier to get into Virginia Tech than it is Liberty. I don't know.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be when Liberty gets into Conference USA? We see a Liberty versus James Madison game every single year. That would be amazing.
That would be tight.
But
James Madison's in the South.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
I know. I'm just saying. Like,
no, we should. It should be a rivalry.
Yeah,
There should be
yeah.
games like that. Should be played this weekend.
Sorry, Ted. We thought you pulled a swag. Man.
Sorry, no, I
should.
should've-
We know what you're talking
no,
about.
I'm sorry. I should.
You see where Chrisley knows best is getting 12 years in federal prison. I mean, the wife's getting 7 years. I think the kids should go too, just for
What they do. I mean, what they.
tax fraud, evasion, everything. Like, God,
I wish I knew.
I was wondering, like, why did this guy make so much money? Well, he lied on his taxes.
Evade.
Yeah, really.
Paying my taxes, for God's sake. Anyway, that's all the voicemails we got, right, Jeff?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Before we get into the Week 13, before we get into these tiebreaker scenarios and all that coming up, just go around the horn and talk about top performers from Week 12. This is brought to you by Prize Picks. If you download the app Prize Picks, use our code GOFG. They'll match you up to $100. You can do up to 6-player props now. It used to be 5. They've added a 6th player, so I think it pays up to 20x if you hit 6 for 6 on some of those. So Prize Picks, use our code GOFG. Week 12 performances of the week. Swag Bear, what do you got?
Mr. Zachary already talked about him, but Troy running back, Kamani Vidal, 29 carries, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just awesome job against La Monroe. You run the ball for 240 yards, you're going to win. So,
Yep. Tip, what you got?
I got a couple. Bowling Green's quarterback, Matt McDonald, had 395 passing yards, 4 touchdowns against Toledo in a huge win against Toledo to keep them in the hunt in the MAC East division. And then Houston wide receiver, my boy, Tank Dell, 9 catches, 176 yards, 1 touchdown against East Carolina. This guy this season, man, he's having an amazing year. He is second in all of college football in receptions with 94, receiving yards with 1,193, and 14 receiving touchdowns. All of those are second in all of college football. He's having a career season this year. I've loved watching him play. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch on Sundays in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a baller, and he can return kicks too. So I think he'll get. I know they don't do that a whole lot in the NFL anymore, but he's got a shot. Murph, what about you? Performance of the week?
Yeah, I got a couple as well. I'm gonna go back to that Bowling Green game. Odu Hilaire, 8 catches, 246 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
incredible performance by those guys in some inclement weather. Marshall quarterback Cam Fancher, 274 yards passing, 2 touchdown passes, 14 rushes, 63 yards, and a touchdown on the ground with a big win over Georgia Southern. I definitely thought Georgia Southern was going to have a better shot to win that game. And then last one, Utah State running back Calvin Tyler, 30 rushes, Sprouse, 125 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, and a big win the other night.
I got one. Jesse crapped on it earlier, but I was going to give it to the Central Michigan fans in a weekend. Well, and now here's why. In a weekend when it was cold and there was weather everywhere, and you saw it all over the country, poor attendance, to include some of the Power Fives and the SECs and all that. There was bad attendance across the country, and they had every reasonable excuse to not be there, and they were there. Midweek, snow, you couldn't even hardly see them. All you saw was like a silhouette of people in the stands there. But anyway, I guess
they should still get a shout out, Sprouse.
Wasn't that impressive, guys? Swag Bear can do it.
I watched the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was nothing better than have my Christmas tree lit up, watching a game where snow's falling.
Wait.
Hold on.
Christmas tree?
That Christmas tree gun has been put up since August, October.
This might be something 31st. Else we need to bring up and talk about. I mean, when is the right time? To me,
let Thanksgiving
I'm okay
have
with
its
it the
day.
day after Thanksgiving, but for me, it's usually December 1st. That week.
I have valid reason. I have valid reason here. We paid for someone to put our lights up on our house. They came and did it October 15th. They did this because we were the Nightmare Before Christmas house. I was Santa. I think I've seen y'all seen
saw you on the Instagram.
And I was giving out candy. So we already had my wife lives for Christmas.
You just can't hide money. You just can't hide money. You got people paying people to come and put Christmas lights on your house. I mean, my God. Clark Griswold, get your ass on the roof and put them up.
There's more story to this. Okay, you know what? Whenever last Christmas, I got a huge 32-foot ladder because we decided we were going to put our lights up on our house, at the very top of our house. Our house goes pretty high up. And then I realized,
huge house.
I'm a pretty, not a huge house, but it goes up. I was like, I'm going to kill myself with my 300-pound body up there. I fall, I'm dead. Like, there's no surviving this. Like, I'm going to die. Is it worth it?
You got life insurance, don't you?
Okay, so my family's okay. I did. So then I was like, maybe it's best that I sell this ladder, which I did. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Thanks for the Christmas present. Sold that ladder.
Wait. We're not going to skip over that. Are you telling me you sold the ladder that your parents bought you for Christmas?
It gets even worse.
Oh, no.
Hold on. I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and then I had to defriend and block my mom on Facebook so she couldn't see that I was selling it. And so then I forgot that I did that. And then 2 weeks later, my mom calls me and she goes, "Are you okay? Did you get hacked? Why are we not friends? I can't see your Facebook." I was like, "Oh, shit." So then I had to figure it out. And I ended up telling her, like, "Look, I will die if I use this present that you gave me," which I apparently asked for in the past. So it's nothing. I mean,
well,
I sold it. We have somebody come up and put our lights on our house. Yeah, we put that stuff. Literally November 1st, my house was boom. We have 8 Christmas trees in our house.
What?
Less.
Well, okay, we have.
When you have that many rooms,
8 bedrooms.
Yeah, you got.
No. We have 2 in the dining room. We have our big one in the living room, and then we have 1 upstairs. Those are 4 main trees. But then she has like these little stump trees, like just all over. She loves Christmas. Let her have it. She decorates December 1st. I mean, sorry, November 1st. And when we host Thanksgiving, we pretty much have all the holiday stuff out. Some people frown upon it. Literally, during Halloween, I went to the Halloween house that was like full of just Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Like they had all stuff in the front yard. I went over there as Santa Claus. It's like, hey, I really love what y'all do here. And I'm like, so you're the one that put their Christmas stuff up 3 weeks ago. I was wondering what asshole did that. I was like, oh my God. Just attacked me right off the bat. So.
Well, I will not let the Swag Bear eat this one by himself because our Christmas stuff is up now. Our lights were put up yesterday. And I'm going to say this too. In my head, when Grisham told me he paid somebody, I was like, I'll get up there and do it myself. I got on the roof the other day. Dude, it should be illegal to build these houses this way because it's like
the points,
whatever kind of triangle it is, acute. And like, dude, so then I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get up there. So then I went to Home Depot and bought this big ass pole. They call it the No Ladder Pro. Do not buy. Anybody listening to this podcast, do not buy Home Depot No Ladder Pro. It's $32.99 down the drain. Doesn't work. But so I'm up there. I'm in the driveway trying to put these damn lights on with the little clips, and I got people driving by honking at me like Jackass has been out here for 2.5 hours. Not one light is clipped to his roof. So then I called Grisham, and I was like, hey, how much do you pay for this? And he told me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we're going without. But then I found somebody local that I don't know if they had insurance or not. Dude, these two guys, they were belaying. One guy was on one side of the roof with a rope, like a harness. The other guy, and I'm out there. So, I'm a dad now. I'm supervising. I'm standing out there, hands on the hips, just looking at these two guys. And I'm like, and they're sliding down. Like, I'm telling you, they're sliding down the roof. Yeah. And so they got them up. And we're the same because we're hosting. My family's coming up, so we're not gonna see them for Christmas. So Thanksgiving is kind of the Christmas deal.
That has a lot to do with it too.
But yes, yeah. Pay somebody if you can. Now it's a racket, though. I mean, what these people
make sure they are insured, for the love of God.
Yeah, these guys. These guys came in a 96 Chevy S10 with a ladder on the back and a bungee cord. They got up there. Anyway, Central Michigan fans, outstanding in the snow.
I know I'm gonna listen back to this. How the hell did we get to this? Recall.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and
either way.
Anyway, week 13, lot to play for. American Conference could be the wildest. With UCF losing to Navy, here's what we got in the American. If UCF beats South Florida, they're in. And then the winner of Tulane and Cincinnati will host. Now, if UCF loses, here's what you got. So if Tulane beats Cincinnati and UCF loses, and then Houston wins. Now, Houston's playing Tulsa, so that they should win. Then you're going to get a tiebreaker between Houston and Cincinnati, to which Houston would get due to a record versus common opponent. So that would be which would be, I don't know even where I'm going with this. It's too much. But anyway, so if UCF
you're gonna
wins,
hurt yourself.
I know UCF's got to win. They got to beat South Florida, and then winner of Tulane-Cincy is in. But if UCF loses, then you got an opportunity for a wild tie.
Yeah.
But
and if UCF plays like they get against Navy with their D line, USF has a shot here. So
we're gonna get to that. So biggest game Friday night. That's the good news. First game's Friday night. Tulane at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 3-point favorites at Nippert. Winner will host the American Conference Championship game. Swag Bear, who you got?
I had to stay with the Green Wave. I was off the bandwagon when they just got pulverized by UCF. Not pulverized. That's horrible. That was a good game. They got beat by UCF. Shows up, whips SMU. I'm going to take them to handle Cincinnati. This is their year. Let's get Tulane.
I like it. Tip.
I'm going with Tulane as well. I think Cincinnati's been playing with fire too long and winning these close games recently. I think they're gonna get. I think they're gonna get burnt this week. I mean, Tulane's playing their best football right now, and since he's just been barely squeaking by with some of these wins recently, you got South Florida. They won by 2. SMU they won by 2. Navy double digits, won by 10. but still, that's a game that you would think Cincinnati's gonna win by more than 10 points. And East Carolina won by 2 points. So I think Tulane's going into Nippert Stadium on Friday night, and I think they're going to beat the Bearcats. And I got a final score prediction for you. Tulane 30, Cincinnati 24.
Wow.
Book it.
I like that. Write that down, everybody. Murph, what do you think?
It's going to depend on one thing. Does the best player on that field play? Ben Bryant left the game last week with an injured foot. So if he plays, I'm taking the Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, if he does not play and Evan Prater has to play, Tulane Green Wave all the way. I don't think Ben Bryant plays. If he does, I don't think he's going to be 100%. So I'm going to take Tulane to win this game.
I'm going to go 4 for 4 on this. I'm going to take Tulane because I am rooting hard against Cincinnati and UCF and Houston because they have been acting way too big for their britches about these polls. Their fan bases on Twitter are sitting here doing the same stuff to the UTSAs and the Coastals of the world that they used to get up until really this year from these Power 5 fan bases. They think because they're going to the Big 12, all of a sudden they're playing tougher competition than everybody else, blah, 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 blah. UCF, you lost to Navy, okay? Not very good Navy team this year. All right, Cincinnati, you've been playing with fire. And, yeah, I got news for you. Tajay Spears has been playing some ball. Pratt's been playing some ball. Tulane is trying to get a rematch with UCF, and I like them getting there for Tulane. Now, here's the question. Does UCF win, or do we have a wild tiebreaker? War on I-4. You guys,
I don't think UCF is very smart. I don't understand their coaches. Gus Malzahn must be over there just chewing on something that's making his brain cells just deteriorate. When you're playing against Navy and it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches, 4th and inches, whatever, I promise you they're going to do a QB sneak. And Navy, I mean, like they snapped the ball, and you had a 3 technique and like a what's it called, a 2-eye technique. Sprouse, there was not one nose guard. There wasn't even nobody in the freaking one hole. The guy could literally snap the ball, just take a step forward. He was in. They did that play 3 or 4 times against UCF. They deserved to. Hell, they deserved to lose.
Yeah. So do you think the Bulls of South Florida get the win?
No, UCF will win.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I was in the locker room, I have a little pep talk for the Bulls of South Florida. Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what we have here tonight, men. That is what we've earned here tonight. Just kidding. That was Herb Brooks' Miracle on Ice. Yeah. I watched that the other day. Great flip.
Damn it, I thought that was ever getting
Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday. Sorry.
Ever Taking Sunday.
1 inch. 1 inch is all it takes. Yeah. And it is, and it's true because UCF can not stop any inches because they're going to do a QB sneak.
Well, let me just tell you something on a more serious note. You guys know I was serious, then it turned into a joke about the South Florida Bulls. They almost finished one this past weekend. I know it was Tulsa, but they almost finally finished one. They got to be the best first-half team and the worst second-half team in all of the land. Now, let me tell you what changed this week. Freshman quarterback Byram Brown comes in for the first time, goes 21 for 25, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns. This South Florida Bulls team has been they're like a prize fighter. They've been in camp for 15 weeks, training, and they have peaked for this moment this week against the Knights. I called it preseason. I thought South Florida would be like 7-4 by now. They are not. But I did call it that they would beat UCF in the War on I-4 to ruin UCF's season. And damn it, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it at Raymond James Stadium. There's going to be 13,000 screaming Bulls fans, another 13,000 screaming Knight fans. Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. The Bulls of South Florida get it done. And we got all kinds of problems. We got a tiebreaker. We got Cincinnati. We got Houston. We got Tulane all knotted up at the top. Give me the Bulls. That's what I got. Book it. Conference USA, a lot more clear. UTSA is hosting If North Texas wins, they're in. If North Texas loses, Western Kentucky has to win at FAU, and then Western would be in. So pretty clear there. Western Kentucky at FAU. FAU is a different team at home, on the road. FAU's playing for bowl eligibility in this game. So Western, but do they get it done to give themselves a chance if North Texas loses? Swag, what do you think?
I don't think so. I think Western Kentucky will take care of business here. FAU started out the season hot. I don't think they finish. I give it to Western Kentucky.
Tip.
Oh, God bless it.
Yes?
I'm sorry. I just realized it was at FAU. Reverse. It's at FAU. I like Florida Atlantic. Actually, they didn't start that well off this season. I think they finish off strong. I like them at home, West Kentucky. They get well.
Yeah, I just figured out what the Swag Bears issue is, because I just did a whole spiel on FAU being at home versus away, being a different team at home. He's looking at Todd Chrisley and shit. He's not paying attention to anything anybody's talking about on the whole show. He's on his phone.
That's not true. The Chrisley did bubble mine. Well, he's getting 12 years in federal prison.
So you got FAU then?
I like FAU at home. I thought that was at West Kentucky, but then I saw it's at FAU, and it's for bowl eligibility. I'm sorry, I keep thinking about that coaching staff, and I know they have players down there. Let them get a win. Bowl eligibility, FAU.
Tip, what do you think?
I like Western Kentucky in this game. FAU's defense giving up, a little over 230 yards of passing per game. We saw what Chase Cunningham did against this defense this past week. So I like Western Kentucky to win this game and to stay in the hunt at the possibility of going to San Antonio and playing UTSA for the Conference USA Championship.
Murph?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Western Kentucky gets it done. After seeing FAU this weekend, Evan Anderson is a monster. He's a nose tackle for FAU, but that's not what Western does. They don't predominantly run the ball very much. They like to get it on the outside, and that's kind of where FAU's weaknesses are. That's secondary. And Cozy Perry came into last week's game with an injured thumb, and he injured it even more playing against the Blue Raiders. So I think that's going to be a big factor. I think Western Kentucky wins.
Unfortunately for Western Kentucky, I think North Texas is going to beat Rice. So, problem solved. You'll have UTSA, North Texas in the championship game. In the MAC, we got a wild scenario that has come to fruition because Bowling Green beat Toledo last week. So, here's your circumstances. Toledo is in already. They've been in. I don't know how they've been in for like 3 weeks. But, so, for the MAC East, and I'm reading this here, Ohio is in if they beat Bowling Green. Ohio's in. Bowling Green is in if they beat Ohio and Buffalo loses to Kent State. Buffalo is in if they win and Bowling Green beats Ohio. Now, let me give you a little controversy here. Buffalo will only be, if Buffalo wins and Bowling Green wins, Ohio and Bowling Green will both be 6-2. Buffalo will be 5-2 in the conference because their game last week was canceled due to the snow. Because the MAC changed the rules for COVID, Buffalo will get the tiebreaker with one less win than the other two teams. How's that for controversy? Now, the game that got canceled was against Akron, so it's not like it was Toledo or somebody like that. But isn't that something? Wild scenario coming out of the MAC. But problem solved if Ohio wins.
Just about to say, best team's got to win. So.
Yeah, so Tuesday night, you got Bowling Green at Ohio. Swag, you got Ohio?
I got Ohio. I really enjoyed Bowling Green in Toledo. I mean, that was classic action, but I think Ohio is just too hot right now.
Tip?
Be interested to see the quarterback situation with Ohio. We saw Curtis Rourke get hurt against Ball State last week. It didn't look pretty, and you could see him kind of hobbling on that leg after he got hurt. That makes me a little nervous. But with that being said,
I forgot about
backup quarterback C.J. Harris, he came in I thought he played really well. He's more of a dual threat quarterback, but he looked comfortable. It looks like he knows the offense really well. So I think if Rourke plays or doesn't play, I don't think it matters either way. To be honest, I think Ohio wins this game. I've loved how they've been playing recently, and regardless of who the quarterback is, I think they win this game.
Murph?
Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling, boys. I think Bowling Green is the team of destiny. I think they get it done. I think Matt McDonald and those boys, they are hot. They're going to ride this momentum, and I think they beat up on Ohio. I don't think Rourke plays. I think that's a much bigger factor than you guys think, and I think Bowling Green wins.
Preseason, when we got on the show on the CSC podcast talking Maction, somebody was talking about Ohio's coach being on the hot seat. Well, I don't think it was any of us. I think it was one of those guys.
It was.
If Rourke can move, I think he tries to get out there. It's going to be a beautiful 33 degrees and clear at kickoff. I mean, you better be there if you're in town. Tuesday night, tonight, if you're watching this show live, I think if Rourke plays, I think they win, and I think he's going to at least try. So I got to go Ohio. I got to go Ohio to win it, and then that solves the whole tiebreaker issue. Ohio versus Toledo in Detroit. But looking at the rest of the match,
he is walking. He's
walking. Okay, well,
he has no crutches.
He's in.
And all you got to do is just throw a football. So I think he's probably going to play.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
I tell you what, I bet it is brutal trying to, like, if you are hurt, trying to get loose and warm in those scenarios.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! And then anytime you come onto the sideline, you probably putting those old school like quarterback jackets on. I'm fired up to watch that one. But I think Buffalo wins too. Kent State going to Buffalo. So I think if Bowling Green wins, I think we're going to see that tie-break scenario.
And that would give Buffalo the nod,
That would give Buffalo the nod, yeah. So Bowling Green needs a win and a Kent State win at Buffalo. Ohio just needs to win. Buffalo needs to win and have Bowling Green win. So all eyes on Ohio tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Mountain West, it's already set, guys. Fresno State at Boise State. Going to be one for the ages. I mean, I think all the favorites get it done this week, too. If you look at the Mountain West, a couple good games. I think Air Force at San Diego State should be a pretty good game. Utah State's been playing well as of late. I think if they were playing, if something was really on the line in that game, I'd give them a shot at Boise. And then same with Wyoming at Fresno. If Wyoming was still alive, I think that'd be a better game too. But I don't know if you guys got anything different on the Mountain West.
Not in particular. I am interested to see both Fresno State and Boise play those games. Wyoming played, very tough last week, and Utah, like you said, Utah State's playing better. So interested to see if either of Boise State or Fresno choose to, pull any of their guys early, maybe rest some guys. I don't particularly like that strategy, but I also get it from an injury standpoint. So just interested to see what decisions they make in those games. But, if I'm Fresno State or Boise, I want to get as much, momentum and play my guys and keep them, in the loop and in sync. So interested to see what they do there.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on to the Sun Belt. Coastal is in. They have won the East. It's pretty much now it is down to Troy and South Alabama for the West. If Troy wins, they're in. South Alabama needs to beat Old Dominion and have Troy lose to Arkansas State. And then it comes down to who's going to host, which will go by the rankings if they all have the same record. Now, James Madison, if they were eligible, if they would win this game, they'd be playing for the championship, which sucks for them. But I'm sure they're going to be coming after it because I'm sure they would really want to say, like, we should have played for the championship. But Coastal without McCall, they're 13.5-point dogs at James Madison. More than likely, if Coastal wins this game, they're hosting. I mean, I don't think more than likely they will be hosting if they win this game. But 2 touchdown dogs at James Madison. Swag, who you got?
Are you guys hearing him?
I think we lost audio. I'll go to Tip. We'll go back to Swag Bear on that. Tip, who you got?
So James Madison, quarterback Todd Centeio, he is fully back healthy, and he's playing great with Grayson McCall out for Coastal. I think James Madison wins this game, and it's going to cause Coastal to have to travel to Troy for the Sun Belt Championship game because Troy's going to go to Arkansas State. They're going to take care of business. So yeah, give me James Madison to win this game.
Yeah, I mean McCall being out is a huge deal, and then James Madison having their quarterback back healthy last week is a huge deal. Do we have audio on the?
Can you hear me?
Yep, there he is.
Yep.
Dude, these cords keep getting underneath my foot, and I keep messing with my daggum. And here's the deal: are you sharing a screen right now?
I am, but the
Okay, it was just tripping me out here.
population cannot see that. That's only for you guys.
Hey, I'm a rookie at this. Coastal JMU. Whenever Coastal played Southern Miss, I was a little bit discouraged because I know they didn't have Grayson McCall during that game. But now, going back to the very beginning of this episode, and I was talking about Southern Miss, I think Southern Miss is a good football team. I think Southern Miss almost beat South Alabama. Southern Miss almost beat a lot of teams this year that show that they're a good football team. So, Coastal goes to James Madison. And let's be real here. We don't know for sure if Grace McCall's going to play or not. He may just put some tape on it, and he might play on Saturday. We don't know if it's for the hosting the home championship game. Who's to say he won't sit up? The guy has a tattoo on his right leg. He might play. I really enjoy Coastal Carolina. I think that this 13.5 point spread is a trap. I really don't want to jinx them. But my money is on Coastal plus 13.5. I mean, that seems so easy to me. This is James Madison. I know their quarterback is back, but are they ready to take on Coastal in such a huge game? Because this is going to be JMU's last game of the year, right? Can't
go to a bowl game.
This is their Super Bowl. I get it, but Coastal, they're playing for something right here, and I think that they're going to be ready to go. I like Coastal money line. Let's take it to Conway here in a couple weeks.
I like it. Murph, what do you think? You agree?
As much as I hate agreeing with the Swag Bear, I just think Jamie Chadwell is a damn good coach. I think he's going to have this defense queued up, ready to roll. I don't know if McCall is going to play. They said 3 to 6 weeks. This would be right at 3 weeks if I'm not mistaken. If I'm McCall, though, I'm with you, Grish. I think you do whatever you can, shoot it up, and you want to play in this game. But on the other hand, I get with the James Madison point. I'm sure feel like they deserve to be in the championship game. If they were to win, they want to make a statement. They want to put a nice little bow on the end of this first season in the Sun Belt, and they want to go out with a bang. But I got to pick. I'm gonna go Coastal because I want Coastal to host. So I'm going to stick with Coastal Carolina and Steeple PC. And I came across this video on the internets today. And be interested to see if JMU, the Dukes, they want to get a little revenge for this a few years back. Check this video out. The beach chicken taking it to him.
So what we're seeing here is the Coastal Carolina mascot was that? You think that was staged?
I don't. I don't know.
That was a pretty aggressive tackle there.
The security guard had to get in between him and separate him.
Yeah, that might be a real deal. There
reminds me of when our best friend Ace Ventura sees the Philadelphia Eagle down in Miami, Florida. Takes him down. You just cost me $20,000, Polly. That's what that reminded me of. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go Coastal here just because I want them to host the championship game. But I could very well see James Madison win this game, especially if McCall doesn't play.
Yeah, I am scared for this game. I think even with McCall, Coastal really hasn't. They've been getting it done, but they really haven't looked dominant this year. And I mean, Vegas knows something. I think it's a trap, but maybe they know something about McCall's injury that we don't know. I think JMU is going to win this game. I do think 2 touchdowns is a lot. I think it'll be close regardless. But unfortunately, I think that JMU wins this ball game. And then either way, like Coastal, if you're McCall though, or if you're Chadwell, or if you're the training staff, if McCall is sort of hurt, do you risk him going out there and getting hurt worse for the championship game just so you can maybe host? Or do you know what I'm saying? Or do you rest him up, make sure he's full go for the championship game, even if it's on the road? That's the question.
Like the Varsity Blues scene. Don't you put that needle on his leg. Man, here's what my last thing, though, Sprouse, and then I'll be done for the rest of the show. Grayson McCall, even if he doesn't play, I like Coastal Carolina's defense, and I disagree with you when you said that they haven't looked like they've been dominant. We saw them against Georgia State, who ended up being a pretty good team. That defense, they fly around. They're big. They look good against App State. They shut down App State for the most part of the game. App State did try to come back. And the defense in general, I feel, can stop James Madison. I know Tips probably disagrees, but if Coastal Carolina flies around, gets pressure on the quarterback, I think they handle business.
The thing I will say is they've used, that defense has been used to going against Coastal's offense pretty much all year in practice, especially in camp. And James Madison's offense it's not identical, but it's very similar in certain aspects with the way they use Centeo, pulling it, running it with him. So I think that defense is going to show up and be up to the task against James Madison. And it's a 11 a.m. so noon kick, Eastern kick. So we'll know fairly.
We're going to know a lot.
Is that on ESPN or ESPN Plus? Surely,
I think it's ESPNU.
Okay.
That is
it is a TV game.
Good.
It is a TV game. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think South Alabama is going to win versus ODU. I think Troy's going to beat Arkansas State. And I think so. I think it'll be Troy and Coastal. Now the question is where. That's an interesting.
Sprouse, well, we got some rivalry games in this.
I know we do.
Sunbelt.
It's like, I mean, we're playing for bowl eligible. Who would have thought? If you would have told me preseason that both App State and Georgia Southern were playing for bowl eligibility on the last week of the season, I would have told you Georgia Southern is not going to be that good, and I would have told you App State is going to be playing to host a conference championship.
And they hate each other.
They do. They call it deeper than hate. I mean, it's probably it's definitely an underrated rivalry across the country. We've unfortunately not been able to get to this game yet, but it's definitely on the bucket list.
I think it's only fitting that we are forced to pick this game.
We have to pick this
before we get off the air.
We have to pick it.
I may just pick it and hang up and not do an outro. Before we pick this game, follow us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Group of Five Guys. Like and subscribe, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Download Prize Picks. Use our code GOFG. $100 deposit match. Go to group-of-5guys.com and buy some swag. What's the line on this game, Tip? Do you have it by chance?
I do, yeah. App State is favored by 5.5.
On the road.
On the road.
You know what that means?
Who wants the road dog?
No,
road dog, Georgia Southern, money line,
dog.
book it.
Home
Good night.
dog.
I got Georgia Southern.
I got Georgia Southern. Kyle Van Treese is also my player to watch. I think he's going to have a field day on App State. I got Georgia Southern. This is their year to win the rivalry.
Tip, Murph?
I'll go ahead and go. Georgia Southern has lost 3 straight games. Their defense is giving up 227 yards rushing.
They're due.
I think App State runs the ball very effectively against Georgia Southern. I'm going to go with App State on the road.
Nicely done, Tyler.
I'm sold. Not one of those.
Kyle Ventries.
Murph?
I think Stu's right from Twitter is going to have something to celebrate Saturday. I think he's going to call. He's going to get bowl eligible. And he's going to be fired up that they won this rivalry game. And I agree with everything Tip said.
So are you sticking with it, Sprouse? So we got
I'm
Jesse,
sticking with it.
Sprouse.
I'm sticking with it.
2v2, a little 2v2 action.
And to make it plain and simple, if this was in Boone, I would take App State. I'm just taking the home team because these are two very evenly
I normally
matched
take a home dog.
Dude, I saw a picture on the Twitters of Paulson Stadium back in the day, and it looked like those I don't know what's the big soccer league, La Liga or whatever, and they got like flags and fireworks and stuff going off in the middle of the crowd. That's what Paulson Stadium looked like. We need every stadium in America to look like that every single Saturday. Amen. And I'm a little bit afraid that it's not going to be even close to that this weekend. They've been struggling even in Statesboro with fan support this year, which is wild. But I hope they got a good crowd. Thanksgiving weekend is a tough one. There's a lot of excuses available for this weekend. Let's hope that they go. Let's hope that they show up. But already did the plug. Follow us, like, subscribe, all the above. Group of Five guys, we'll catch you next week for conference championship preview. Thanks, guys. We're out of here.